tell you guys a little bit of a story. So in the spring of 2008, I was sitting in my 8th grade science class zoning out and having a really hard time paying attention. Suddenly, my teacher grabbed my attention by talking about a 4-day sailing and science trip. I was sure I wanted to go and nothing was going to stop me because it got me out of the classroom. I was not a kid who sat still. I was sure I wanted... Ooh, hey, sorry about that. What I didn't know then was that my whole world was about to change in the course of that school year. Doors were about to open into my future that I never even knew existed. This experience, sailing and science, this lifestyle, and these people would change my life and become what I live. It was the day of our first classroom visit with the crew, and the crew were brought in. Now, when you imagine guest speakers, you don't usually imagine Carhartts, plaid flannel shirts, and rubber boots. I mean, seriously, what were these people wearing? Like, teachers don't dress like that at all, ever. They must be extremely crazy, especially that one in the John Deere hat. Their fashion wasn't what mattered, though. It was that they came into our classroom after just stepping off the boat, and they projected this unreal level of passion for life, learning, science, and sailing. 30 distractible kids suddenly found themselves engaged. These crew members were dynamic, inspiring, and full of smiles. The following 6 weeks flew by, but I remember in particular that the time we spent preparing the Salish crew, that they were continually saying yes. They wanted us to do it. They weren't going to tell us no, but they were going to ask us and make us figure it out, and they were going to sit there and question us. Sorry, this is really hard for me to read. I remember formulating our research question and prediction. We were empowered to do this and follow the rules that were already in place, but no one was ever going to stop you until you know. The crew wanted us to make the connection ourselves between the puzzle pieces. We arrived dockside, shocked, because it was cold, gray, and the rain had started falling from the sky. We were greeted by big smiles, a never-ending supply of high fives, and an incredibly positive crew. Before we could board onto our adventure, there were things to learn and things to know, for winches take fingers and sails need wind, and life jackets always. Later, that John Deere hat came around the corner, and the lady wearing it was donning some fashion from the other side that I'd never seen before. Fallies. She asked us to gear up, and the next thing I knew, I was on board Carlin, and we were pulling out of the marina, and this surreal feeling overwhelmed me. Was this a dream? Was I really going on this trip right now? Yes. Yes, I was. While on board, we would be collectively one team, split into 2 working groups. While one watch was executing our science project, the other group would be sailing. It started pouring. We might as well have just sailed through a never-ending waterfall at that point. I don't remember how cold it was, but I can tell you all the points of sail. I don't know how long it rained, but I can tell you... Ooh, hey, whoa, just kidding. I don't know how long it rained, but I can tell you how to set a sail. I have no idea the amount of wind that went across that deck, but I can show you how to navigate using a chart. I have no idea if by that time my clothes were even dry anymore, but it didn't matter. It never mattered because we were enjoying every moment and we were stoked off life. The time came for my watch to start working on our science experiment, which we'd been planning. I met some seriously awesome things. Waterproof paper, considering we were sailing through a waterfall. A Niskin bottle, plankton nets, a sucky disc, and the like. I remember Molly, our scientist on board, being totally ecstatic about getting this research going. I fed off her energy, and this became round 2 of super excited, hands-on, inquiry-based learning, and I loved every minute of it. It was exhilarating to be outside in the elements, learning and discovering, but not only about the boat and the science, I also found out who I was. One afternoon, the crew was having a hard time getting the anchor to hold, and the mate and deckhand, Aaron and Austin, were ready for a break from the manual windlass after hauling it back 4 times at that point. Austin and Aaron caught my attention in the cockpit, and they signaled me to come up on bow. We hauled that anchor chain 9 times, trying to get it to stick. And I remember laughing harder every time, because I was so determined to do this, and nothing was going to prevent me. 7 years later, actually today, a couple hours ago, Aaron and I still laughed about this. So while on this trip, I met someone to who this day has been an amazing friend, mentor, And here, remember, hero, I mean everything. She has been a great role model and a hero. I stand up here before you and thank every single crew member. They share a passion that's rare, and I found that passion. I was given an opportunity to find who I was, all due to sailing with Salish. At 16 years old, my life was crumbling in front of me. My mom had cancer, our family was separated, and I really just didn't care anymore. Sorry. I received an email from that crazy lady in the John Deere hat, Erin, saying there were open slots on a Salish program. That email changed my life in an instant. I called Salish immediately to see if we had any scholarships available. I was given an amount that made it affordable for our current situation, and I can positively say this. The only reason that I'm standing here in front of you guys today is all because of that scholarship. Because of it, I was allowed to experience life to the fullest. These trips showed me that I had potential to be somebody. Salish and the crew that they employ ignited a passion about life that led me to take the world by storm. The combination of hands-on learning and being pushed past what I thought my limits were made me who I am today. None of this would have ever happened without that first trip. It's been an amazing journey. I found my calling, and I've realized that decks full of boots is where my heart lies.